Let's see here. What's going down, folks? How's everyone doing tonight? Let me see here. Music for this game. I love this music. Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to the D-Dub podcast, coming live. Coming live from the YouTubes. You know what? I gotta be honest, I don't know if I've ever actually seen this game turn to nightfall. I don't actually think that I have. I think the audio is good. The Immortal John Hancock here. How's it going, man?
Oh no.
Professor,
Oh no.
thank you for all you have done for us.
Welcome to the D-Dub live podcast. Even though it's not a podcast, it's the D-Dub live stream coming to you in a theater near you.
The other night,
Available soon on DVD.
I had the honor of sharing a drink with Gerald.
This summer on VHS.
He was pretty tactless, honestly. He could be blunt at times, but he always looked like such a proud, happy father whenever he spoke of you.
That's hilarious. Well, I see that there's 10 different
Hello there.
John Hancock, the immortal John Hancock, the real John Hancock. And I know that there actually is a real one that's like
Professor,
has
please lend us
a
your ears. Ferdinand is saying
like I
impossible
clicked through it
things.
and it had an
I do not
actual
see what is
Patreon
impossible
that
about
you
it.
could donate
All
to.
I said, you are someone close to us has turned
So
up dead.
I saw this other
so one
video
could argue
earlier.
that you are not
I don't know
safe
if it
here
was.
anymore.
I don't know if it
am
was.
not
I
returning
don't
to
think it
home
was
until I
yours.
have grabbed my goal. I
But
will
there was
not
like
be listening to the
several
words of
different
Ferdinand.
comments from
No, look,
the real
I
John
did not mean to
Hancock,
pressure
John
you.
Hancock, the immortal John
Apologies for the
Hancock,
misunderstanding.
humble John Hancock, and it just seems like it's gotten completely out of control, and that there's 10 of you, like already. So
How could you? How could
he,
you?
I
how
don't
could
think he saw it anyway.
could-
So that's even funnier than
how
that
could
you
you-
actually
How could you?
go and hang out
How could?
at his live stream. I was there for a minute, but
How?
you know, it seems like he just kind of crunches it in real quick, and then he shows off the holy grails, and then pieces out. So it's actually funny because just 3 days ago I thought there was just you doing the John Hancock thing, and I watched one of your videos, and then I saw probably 10 different
What?
other types of videos, other types of different cuts and remixes, and some of them were actually kind of funny.
Professor, I'm so happy to see you. To see the light in your eyes again is a gift. It inspires me to carry on as well. I'll inform you immediately.
I don't
if
really care if he's a fraud. I mean, I used to watch more of his stuff, and by more, I mean, it's not like I've really kept up with his channel. You know, like if he's live or something, sometimes I pop in. But that's, I don't know, I think he only does that maybe like once a week. But there's so many frauds that it's... I see it every day, you know. Like I see other people hyping up a certain game. There's someone recently, I won't even name who it is, but it's like, you know, they've been hyping up this game, and then in one of their streams, someone's like, oh, how many hours do you have on Fire Emblem?
If dangerous, I hope that I'll...
And it's like, they don't want to say. They're like, oh, how many hours you got? Like, how about
Dark
you?
expressions don't suit
How about
me,
you
Professor.
tell it us first?
Seems most of the...
Isn't that a... What do you think, Professor?
And it's just clear that the person just isn't playing this game. They just hyped it up and got a lot of views on it.
I agree. We can send some nights
So,
after our
frauds are
enemies,
everywhere.
But so many? It makes the church seem reckless.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
sorry.
if people want to donate, they can donate. But yeah, I did notice that he said that. And I saw someone else recently too saying, you know, they got a review code for a game, and then several other people posted on Twitter that they got like the press kits. So it comes with, you know, I don't know why they call them press kits, because some of like the older ones actually, I guess the term press kit made sense, and they had like some extra goodies or sometimes stuff from like the developers, like little pieces of stuff that aren't just mainstream sold in a collector's edition or whatever, but it's basically just a regular collector's edition.
There is no... I
that
do not know what the enemy's
was
aim was.
sent to people.
But I
So
do
this
think
other
if there is
person
anything-
who gets stuff all the time, who already got a review code for the game, you know, they're basically like, oh, I saw that, and you know, I basically was like, oh, how come I didn't get one? And it's like, I guess when you start getting review codes and stuff, and you start getting spoiled, and then places are sending you games, and then you see other people are getting like special editions sent to them, and you just got the regular game, which it's like, you shouldn't be ungrateful. I mean, even just getting a review code, us regular gamers, it's like, you know, we have to
Dear Goddess,
basically go out
say a
and
prayer
pay
for
for that. So
Gerald's
to just get a free review code
not much
to where you
else I
can
can
still
do.
play the game, and then they still send you a physical game, and then you see someone else gets the special edition for free, and then you're like, oh, well, how come I didn't get the special edition? It's like, well, you still got sent like a review code and or the regular game, so it's still saving you money that you would have paid for it, and then you're making money on top of videos. And this particular YouTuber, he's doing pretty good. Like, he makes his own living, so it's not like he couldn't afford to go and
haven't lost
buy
you,
this
even while you're
special
standing
one.
still.
But he was complaining about it, and it's just like, man, you're kind of being, ungrateful. But I guess that's just the world that we live in these days, so, Well, last time, I don't know if it was last time, but a couple weeks ago, he was streaming, and someone specifically asked, if I donate to this museum, like, how would one know if their money is going to that? Like, do you have some kind of, you're saying it's coming along, people have been like, hey, what do you need help on? And then it basically, he doesn't say that, like, well, this and this is going on, next I'm going to be looking into this and this. It's a process. It basically just turns into this, the person asked if I gave you money, or for anybody who has donated to this museum, is there some track, some book or something? Is there a way to see that, my money is going to basically where you claim that it is?
Excuse me,
And it just turned into a
Professor.
conversation of,
How
well,
are you holding up?
there's a
I
lot of
know how
naysayers
heavily
out there,
grief weighs
and
upon
people
one's
aren't
heart.
gonna like it, and
I
they're gonna
lost
be
my
jealous. But,
some time ago.
rest assured, like,
It
it's
was-
gonna take a while, but ultimately that's the goal. And it's like, no, that wasn't the question. The person wanted to know, for those that do donate to a future museum, how can they even be assured? Because several years can go down the line and nothing's happened with any of it, and technically you could look at the wall behind him and say that, yeah, you've contributed to that, and it's still ultimately going to this museum.
Forgive
But
me
that,
my
either
moment
way,
of
it's
weakness.
like, that wasn't the question
Even all these
that
years
the
later,
person
I
asked.
cannot recall that time
And then
without
it just
feeling the
he just
pain.
he read
as if
it
it
the
were
way that
brand
the
new.
person wrote it, and then he just went over here with it. And I don't know. There's a lot of big time frauds, but I guess at the end of the day, there's too many people, too many channels. I mean, at the end of the day, it is entertainment, so it's all about numbers and views, and in the end of the day, YouTube doesn't really care. I mean, you can be a fake in any genre of YouTube, and as long as you're bringing the views and people are watching the content and the ads are going to them and the platform is making money and you're getting paid, a small percentage of that, there's nothing that you can really do to stop that, because it's money and numbers. So, here I am doing late night live streams and stuff like that, just getting my footing for YouTube. And
Just
I want to
know
build
that
up
I
a
am
channel.
pained.
I want to be able to, like, I'd love to have a
I
huge channel and just like give stuff away, give money away, buy collector's editions and stuff like that, and meet up with people and give games and systems to kids.
Really?
And like, I'm thinking about that even now. I'm planning on doing a video where I bring some of my games somewhere and go and find some kids
Wow.
that have never played games or good games, and see what kind of systems they have or whatever, and hopefully open some kids' minds to some great games that they might never experience, or maybe would experience it down the way, to where you're just influencing the next generation of kids to where they go, man, when I was 10, this dude gave me whatever, like a Zelda game, and then after that, I was hooked on gaming.
Impressive.
And now here it is 20
Thanks.
years later, and I don't even remember who the guy was, but it influenced me like so much, like to be someone that does stuff like that. Like that's personally a goal that I have. Not, it's whatever. Like even, you know, like I was saying a couple weeks ago, I asked John if you know, when this thing, you know, actually opens, which I guess remains to be seen, because that could go on for years, and that might be his intention now, but
Oh,
that's not
Goddess,
how
hear my
things always
prayer.
work.
Please
And
receive this
he could come to
beloved
find
person.
out it's just too much of an undertaking, so, you know, the museum thing ain't really gonna happen, so maybe there's another way to do it. But if it was me personally, and it's like, hey, this museum thing, I could make it happen, but it'd have to be hundreds of miles away or something like that, I would probably feel like, you know, I don't really want to, like, I want to be a part of it. I don't just want to hand my collection off to somebody. So he could come to find out that it's not going to work out. And so anyways, I asked him, like, when this thing actually happens, is it going to be hard to basically have, you know, other people who this stuff like now belongs to, who are handling it or moving this section over here? Because as you open a museum, you imagine, you know, especially like a video game museum, which it would be cool to see the amount of stuff that he has actually in a museum, because he has so much stuff, and that he even claims that the wall behind him is only like a quarter of the stuff that he has. So it'd be amazing, truly, to see all that stuff in a museum. Like if it was all in a museum right now, it'd be like a sight to behold. It'd be a thing to go actually, it'd be
When the
worth it to
cold
go
rain
actually
washes
see
the
the
body,
thing. And so I
when the
asked
bird
him,
and wolf
you know,
announce the dawn.
once you hand it over, like, if it's a museum, if it's like a non-profit, like in the long run, then you really didn't get much out of it. You would hope, if it was me and I was giving everything that I've collected through my whole life to a museum, I mean, if I was going to retire, I'd hope that I'd receive some sort of, you know, a little bit of payment back on it, versus just being like, man, I collected for like 40 years and then I just kind of gave it all away. Not that he won't have like Patreon money or whatever, but Crystal Kite, what's going on? How are you doing? Thank you very much, the immortal John Hancock. How's your summer going, Crystal Kite? Haven't really talked to you since, you know, beginning of summer really kicked off. I'm good. It's got to be, what, midnight? It's midnight for you? I'm going to be probably going to bed in the
Receive them
next
into your
hour or
blue
so.
blood.
Should already been in bed.
Receive them into a twinkling star.
Then I just decided to do a little
That's
bit of
a
a live
morning
stream.
scripture from the Church of Saros. Lady Rhea taught it to me. I pray that Geralt is happy
So
in
I'm
the next
good.
world.
Things are good. Things are actually great. Why not, you know? Things are going good. How about you? Yeah, man, that's crazy that... So you have... Tomorrow's Friday, or yeah, tomorrow's Friday. So you go back on Tuesday, really? See, I don't know why that is. When I was in school, we always went back in like September. I think there was only maybe one time where we went back like maybe the very last day of August. But this year I saw like someone on Facebook saying that their kid, who's like a 6th grader, just had like been back for like 3 days. I'm like, man, that's crazy. But I guess that also begs the question, like, when did summer start for you? Because for me, it was usually like, you know, end of June, June 20th, 25th, 27th, until like high school, where you get out like a week, 2 weeks early.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know who.
Come on, man. One of these belongs to him. It's gotta.
I don't know.
Oh, June 5th, so yeah. I mean, you got your trade-off, but who wants to go back? I mean, ugh. Why, what year are you in? What grade are you in? I wish I was still in school. You know, it's tough, like, you're a teenager, going through, like, whatever. Some parts suck. Your parents, you know, older people, they say, you know, enjoy it, because it's gonna go by quick. And you're only young once, and you're like, yeah. Thing is, I'm not really, I guess, enjoying it. So, kind of like, whatever. But then you look back, and you're like, man. You're like, yeah, those were good times. But I guess that goes for anything, because I realize now that it's easy to look back on even a day from 2 or 3 months ago with fondness, even though maybe that day, while I was doing something that was fun, like I didn't really want to be there or wasn't enjoying it the most thoroughly.
We can't be sure who to trust anymore.
So it's easy to look back on
Who
things.
are these people
and
really?
be like,
What do they want?
those were great times, even though if you could like teleport back, you'd be like, man, look at the look on my face. Like, that wasn't a very good day. At least it doesn't look like it. Like,
Hey,
why do I
I've been
remember it differently then? So, it's crazy. Time just distorts things. I was trying to get this, I don't know, I think it got thrown out. I had this old computer with a bunch of, like, you know, videos from back in the day. I used to have this small camera, and I used to take it everywhere, and we would do just like,
Who are these?
sometimes were like
I'm
skits,
really-
some were party videos, some were skateboarding. We used to have this like abandoned warehouse that was next to my friend's house, and for years nobody like owned it. The thing was just this abandoned,
Need something.
it was like an old factory, and we just sort of took it over and skateboarded in it. So I have all these videos of
See
it
you
on this
again
like
soon.
dead computer, and I asked my mom like last week, I was like, you know, it's probably still not around, and I don't know if this stuff was even possible to save off of it. But I was like, do you know, is that old computer like up in the attic? And she was like, I don't really know. And I was like, it probably got thrown away at some point. And I was like, if it got thrown away, then damn, like that's a damn shame, because I had a lot of video footage of like band practices and some live shows and stuff from my band that I had like recorded or had people record. I'm like, man, all that stuff is gone except for in my memory. Because if I could get that all back, I'd love to have put like videos out now with stuff like that. That would just be awesome.
It is a shame what happened. I am sorry. Leave some flowers on his grave for
Have you
me.
played this game at all? So yeah, it sucks having an abandoned factory. Every like
Hello there.
teenage crew, group of friends or whatever, everybody should have access to an abandoned factory. It's good time. As long as the thing isn't like destroyed already beyond repair.
Yes, losing someone dear. That said,
The one we were in, I mean, we had to bring like a push broom and stuff, and the second floor was all just wood floor, and you could see some of the spots where they had these like machines. I'm not sure what kind of factory it was exactly, but the bottom was all concrete, and we had to just sweep it and move like some doors, like all the windows and stuff were busted out. So we had to like push some glass and move some wood and stuff, but it was a great spot for skateboarding for like 14-year-olds. And then finally this dude bought it and made sure we didn't go over there, and today he like a singular guy. I mean, this factory was like the size of a football field. And it was basically like a 3-story factory. And this dude like single-handedly, like over the course of probably like 3 or 4 years, always had like a dumpster full. He like pulled all the rotten stuff and all the exterior and stuff, and he had like a giant bonfire pile, which I never seen him burn, but I think he burnt most of that. I think he burnt most of the factory and then saved like the structural wood and basically rebuilt like a pretty sizable house on this concrete pad. And the house came out good. He like fenced it in and stuff. And it's like, I drive by it now and I'm just like, man, that was the old skate factory.
What?
Oh, so you're gonna be playing this game. Nice. I don't think I'm really that far. I mean, the game has weird pacing, so yeah, I think I have like 32 hours, maybe like 33 right now. It does have some kind of weird pacing to it, where like things seem to not really be happening, and then some of the story moves along, and then a couple missions go by, and then it starts to pick up, and then it kind of slows down a little bit, because it's weird. You go from between the monastery and exploring to like going through the calendar, and then you have like a battle or a couple battles, and you can, you know, pick and choose sort of how it plays. You know, how it kind of plays out.
Prayer for Gerald's soul.
But so far, all the characters are great. I ended up liking the story more than I thought I would. Same for the characters. A lot of these characters are like really great. There's only one that I hate out of total of like 36. So there's 36 characters plus between all 3 houses. And I feel like I could be maybe about as far as I am in maybe like 10 or 15 hours if I just skipped everything.
I haven't lost a parent
But you
yet,
can
so
really sink
I can't
into
even
the amount of
begin to
stuff that's in
understand
this
how you
game, or
must be
just sort of
feeling.
choose to ignore it. So, I mean, that's kind of cool.
But even while you're standing still, the world keeps on moving. I always find that oddly comforting.
The funniest thing is that they put this dude upside down on the cover. I think that'll go down as just like a quirky, weird decision, you know, on Nintendo's part, like down the line. I think they'll look back and they'll look at the cover of Three Houses and go, why the hell is he upside down? You know, like it's just such a weird choice to put him upside down. I don't know why they did that.
Maybe.
So yeah, I'm not even
When
sure
I
what
heard
I'm
that
really
Monica
doing
was
right
with
now.
the enemy, I was surprised by how something was just off. That said, whenever she had free time, she was always hanging around with the Edelgard. I wonder if Edelgard is also. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm just.
That's right, don't be paranoid. You gotta cut it out. So yeah, I chose to... I guess I'll go back and see her. Sometimes you can just choose to just explore, or like the game will suggest that to you.
That said,
And then sometimes there's just nothing to do and you're like, why did I bother doing that? Like, I'm all out of points. So I guess that'll end the Sunday. At first I just found this calendar mechanic just really strange. I was like, do you get like points for certain days and you can only like participate in certain things on certain days? Like, I wasn't quite sure how it really worked. We'll go through instruct. my folks are all pretty happy. But there's so much stuff. There's so many menus and like numbers and skills and charts and new things, and half the stuff on the screen I don't even know what the hell it's talking about. Like this abilities, personal, confidence, class, canto. Like I sort of understand what it is, but I don't understand how it actually like affects certain other things. I don't know, there's a lot of fat to this game. Like, have you ever played another Fire Emblem game? Because I haven't. This is my first Fire Emblem, which I knew when the Switch first came out and I got it. I almost bought one of the other ones on the 3DS, and then I just figured, you know, I don't really care to play one of those at the moment, and then I just was like, hey, when this comes out finally on the Switch, which it seemed like it was going to come out sooner. It definitely seemed like it would come out sooner on the Switch, because we were hearing about it in, 2017, 2018. And then
Professor,
that didn't happen,
I've something
so
I'd like to
either
ask
way,
you.
I just figured once it comes out, I'll play it, so. Well, that's cool. See, I might go back and play some of the other ones after this. It might be hard, though, going to, like, the 3DS. Like, I've always heard the GameCube one was good. I've heard that for years, but it's just, you can only get the thing for like 130 or 40 bucks, and then it only goes up from there. So I just really hope maybe someday I'll run into this game for like $5. How does the audio sound, by the way? Because I got a new microphone, and I can't tell exactly just how much better it's actually sounding. Like, I used it for my past couple videos, and I've noticed a big difference. Still a little bit of tweaking to do, though. So, I'm not exactly sure, like, it's got, like, the gain. So if I turn it all the way down and then speak really close, it seems to be better than if I turn the gain up and then move way back from the mic. It picks up more of the, all this other stuff. Like, the first day I had it, everything was cranked, and I could hear my ceiling fan, like, downstairs, just spinning. And it was in the headphones, and I was like... And then I heard, like, a kid scream from across the baseball field. And I heard it in the headphones, and I thought someone was in my house. And I was like, I knew I was here completely alone. I was like, what the hell?
What a superior answer.
That's right. Yes! Activity points. Adjutants. All these great words. I don't know what they do.
Ah, there you are. I apologize for calling you in so suddenly. Please, sit.
Like, he's one of the characters I don't like. I don't trust him. I think he might be a
There is a
bad
matter
guy.
I would like to discuss with you. I believe I've told you this before, but it is my responsibility to aid the Archbishop in all her duties. Spiritual instruction, ceremony oversight, donation management, all of the church's many administrative tasks.
See, one of the weird things is that there was that incident or whatever with the voice actor for the male version of the main character that you play in this monastery, the teacher, and they talk about like his voice acting, but here I am, I'm the female version, and she hasn't spoken anything, so I was kind of confused on like the male one. I'm like, wouldn't he just be completely silent too? Or is there some something I picked at the beginning of the game that like determined
I
that.
oversee not only the priesthood,
I
but
haven't
also the Knights of Seros
heard a
and
single
the Officers
line of
Academy.
dialogue. Like, my character's just a complete mute.
The Archbishop entrusts a great deal to my discretion, and I am honored by her confidence. Even when she must make decisions herself, she often seeks my counsel in advance. And yet, your appointment to a teaching position at the Officers Academy was a complete surprise to me. Not only that, but you have also been entrusted with the Sword of the Creator. I was as surprised as anyone else to learn that. Frankly, I am just not sure how to handle you. I am the Archbishop's right hand, and yet when it comes to you, I have been told almost nothing.
He's been mad about that since this game started. He's gonna say,
Not
not
quite.
really.
I do find you to be a trustworthy individual,
I knew it.
but my subjective opinion is not enough.
Come on, Setith. If that is your real name.
I have a duty to be cautious. Should the Archbishop's trust in you prove to be misplaced, it is the first. I would like to know just how much you know about yourself.
My character has stated before, like, I don't know my age. I don't know when my birthday is. I don't remember anything from my childhood.
You are the child of Geralt Eisner, correct?
That's what I hear.
That's quite a vague reply for such a basic question. In the future, I would advise you to... As the former captain of the Knights of Seros, Geralt was renowned throughout Fodlan. If you really are his child, then no one would voice any complaint about you joining
See, I
the
don't have
Knights.
any collector's editions for literally any game ever. The only like steelbook I have is for Gears of War 2 that the manager at GameStop like 3 months ago or something, I was in there and he was like, these people just like gave me these games, or they just were trading stuff in and they didn't even get credit for them and they just sort of left them on the counter and walked off. Like, do you want them? So I don't have, out of all my years, I never bought a single collector's edition or special edition or anything like that. So this is one of the games I'm thinking about, you know, saving up a little bit and buying that special edition.
How long has it been since you became a mercenary?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I see. Most curious.
The one thing I was able to get, though, was the pins that came with the pre-order, but only if you were at GameStop, like, early when the game launched. And I basically walked into GameStop, and I was like, I bought this at Walmart because it was $10 cheaper, but, like, do you have any pins? But the chick there, I see her all the time, and she's
Come to think of
kind
it, I have
cool.
never asked your
She was like, I don't have
Just
enough.
how old
and
are
then
you exactly?
I kind of bugged her again and again, and she ended up giving them to me, so I was like, thank you. I also wanted to get, they had this giant Three Houses poster, it was like this big on one of the ends of their end caps, and I went there last week, and they already threw it out, and I was just like, God damn. Like, I was pretty bummed about that. You got the FF12 collectors. The original one, like for like PS2 or for the Switch, because yeah, didn't they do a collector's edition for that on the Switch, like with a steelbook? Because I thought FF10 and 10-2 had a steelbook. Yeah, I think they both did. I saw Final Fantasy 12 on PS2 the other day at the Goodwill store. And I might go back like tomorrow and get it if they still have it. All I ever see at my local Goodwill is like occasional Xbox game, like literally like one. It'll be like a sports title, and then Wii games, which I found a couple good ones. I found some PlayStation ones. Usually there's like a couple PlayStation 2 games, and that's about it. And the other day I was there, and there was like 30 like PS2 games. There was some GameCube games, and I picked up like 7 or 8 of them. There was Mario Power Tennis for GameCube, and I was like, nice, and I opened it up, and the disc wasn't in there. So I asked her, I was like, this one doesn't have the game in it. And she was gonna go like, oh, okay, and take it from me and just sort of like throw it in the trash. And I was like, well, I want the case. Like, can you just like give it to me for like super cheap? And she was like, you can just take it because it'll just get thrown away. So I was like, that's cool. I should go there more often. Because I see there's another Goodwill that's like up by the GameStop here. Because my GameStop is like a half-hour drive away. And there's a Goodwill there, and you go through and you're like, NBA, NFL, Madden 08 for Xbox 360. For like PlayStation 1, it's like NFL 98. You're like, ooh. And then you see a good game, and you're like, nice, and you open it up, and there's no disc in it. Every single time
Your face says
at the
it all.
Goodwills, you see a
You
good
truly
game,
don't
and the
know,
game
do
isn't
you?
in there.
Just what was... Given your responses thus
And
far,
at the
I feel as
Goodwill
though any
that's
further questions would
up by
just
the
be a waste of our
GameStop,
time.
I'll go through them, and I'll basically like leave them in a stack, half opened, so you can see that there's no disc, and there'll be a dozen of them. And I guess they just take them and they just put them back on the shelf to try to sell them again. And it's like the same ones are there with no discs every single time.
However, permit me to make one thing clear. Whatever her reasons, the Archbishop has placed great faith in you. Do not betray that trust.
Sure. Oh. Yeah. See, I thought I had Final Fantasy 12, but it turns out that I don't anymore for the PS2.
Come on,
I had
Leonhard,
the...
let's do this.
There was like a couple different versions of that. Like I noticed on on like I guess the later PS2 and then the greatest hits version, it just has the has like the main character sort of like I guess smiling on it, but then there was this other one that had like I've seen the steel case before, and then I think there was basically a regular version that had like the steel case art on it, and I'm pretty sure that was the one that I had. And I could have swore I had it even up till just like a couple months ago, and I looked through my whole pile and I was like, it's not there. Like, damn. World 8? Huh. Guessing that's probably like a mom and pop shop. See, I noticed too that sometimes you can get a good deal from like a GameStop on like a special edition. Because occasionally, like, not really for Switch, but for Xbox One, PS4, like those things have been out longer, so naturally there's more used stuff on the market. But from time to time you'll see like a steelbook or like the collector's edition box with like the disc or like the CD or like soundtrack or booklet or whatever in it. And then sometimes it'll go on sale, and even if you see just the regular version of that game for cheap, you can bring the collector's edition up and it'll ring up as the regular game, so you'll pretty much get the steelbook and the whole bundle for the price of the regular game, because they're not really put in the system as a separate SKU, I guess. So you can kind of get the one up on that from time to time. I know that's a good strategy.
You've always got so much energy. Shall I leave everything to you?
No way.
Yes.
I'm not falling for that again. There, finally finished. We probably could have done better if you
No matter how serious I am, I simply cannot give that which I do not have to give.
That dude's funny. He always takes a nap. Oh, really? Phoenix Wright for Japan. Something like that. That probably ends up being worth money down the line. Like, especially in the States, because when the game was about to come out, people were like, yeah, that's really cool.
I won't forget all
That's
I've
really
learned.
cool. And then all these other games come out, and
I understand more
no one
every
really
day.
ends up buying it. And then those games kind of just fall into obscurity. It's like no one, I guess, at the time, probably really has the money. They don't want to really
I still have
import it.
much to
I mean,
learn.
some do. You'd find it somewhere, but for
I
the
suppose
most
it's
part,
working.
like in like 20 years, people will be like still selling the 3DS one for cheap, and then something like the Switch one will be like ridiculous. Like, I've been watching this channel. I remember seeing
Learning
him
these
before,
things gives me great difficult.
and then I didn't see his stuff for like
difficulty.
a year, maybe. But it's this channel called Move Over Kids, and it's just this nerdy kind of dude, but he seems cool, and he goes through, like, he's got a giant Switch collection. He talks about different, like, different Switch games, these different releases, some different, like, variants in the box, or like the cover art, or whatever, and basically goes through what he thinks either is at the current time, or what will become sort of rare or collectible. And there's ones where I've seen, I'm like, you know, that actually makes sense, and then it makes me want to start buying these, you know, not main AAA mainstream titles. I'm like starting to think about, like, yeah, I've seen like all of those at like GameStop, and it's like, damn, now I want to start buying some of those, even though they're like $30-40 and not really a game I would want to play.
I'll
But
keep
I'm
my
like,
voice
you know,
down.
when someone says
Don't want
something's
people
rare, and
thinking
you're
I'm
like,
vying for attention.
oh, I've seen
But
that,
how
and you're
loud
like,
is
you know,
too
actually,
loud?
I should spend my money on that, even if it's something you don't value personally. For some reason, I just get like, amped up, and then I have to be like, well, I'm not gonna really play it, and I don't really care about that, so
I am
pump the
grateful.
brakes. Like, he was talking about the Paw Patrol Pups on a Roll. It's like, it's a Paw Patrol game on the Switch. You know, like, a lot of adults didn't buy it. And then it started getting me thinking that, like, yeah, that's true. And the parents that bought it for their kids, like, the case will be destroyed. The cartridge will be like scratched up, and the label is like half torn off, and there's like yogurt and stuff stuck to it.
Brother, please wait.
And I'm like, man, that's at like my local Walmart for like $20. And I'm like, it might be worth it to just buy and keep sealed. Which, when it first came out, I almost was like,
For the last
I'm
time,
gonna buy
Flame,
that
the
game.
answer is no.
You are departing for the Rhodos
But
coast, are you not?
then I thought,
must come.
I just gotta, you know, keep my brain in check. Those Zelda amiibos, I wish I had bought them. Like, I think it was before the Switch even came out, and I wasn't paying attention to video games at the time. Like, it wasn't until like after the Switch came out, and one of my coworkers started talking about it, and then I went looking. But before that, I was just paying zero attention to video games, like caught up in work and stuff. And I remember being at Target and seeing like all of the Breath of the Wild amiibos, and seeing like the Link one, and you know, like Princess Zelda on the horse, and then seeing like the Guardian ones. And at that point, there was so many of them on the shelf that I remember being at the same Target like a couple weeks later, and the whole shelf was full, and then there was like a bunch of random ones like pulled off and kind of sitting at like the bottom of the display rack, and 2 or 3 of them had like gone across the aisle and down the way, and were just kind of like left when someone just sets them down up here. And at that point, they were on
do
discount.
No such thing. I am
And
not
they were
going there
like,
to pay
I think
respects
10,
at the cemetery,
like 10
but to
bucks
do
each.
battle.
And I even remember seeing the 5-pack, where it's like all 5 of the amiibo
With
in
you
one.
there, I will be beside myself
And
with worry.
I mean, the
It'll
thing
be
was
easier for
probably,
me
it was
to
probably
fight
still like
if I know you are
35
safe.
bucks. But now,
But
it's like,
I
oh
must.
man. Because even the,
Professor,
like,
you have come at just the right time.
like the amiibo with the ability to turn into like Wolf Link, like I didn't even know that was a thing until, I don't know, several months ago, where I was like, oh, you can do that in Breath of the Wild. And it's like, it doesn't really do much, but you still can do it. And I was like, I didn't know that.
I only wish to make a small request. My dear brother is about to set forth on a most dangerous mission.
Oh no.
Indeed.
Mission?
The Western Church is attempting to seize sacred ground by force. With this action, they are no longer merely believers of a different creed. They are a dangerous threat that cannot be ignored. We cannot allow the holy artifacts enshrined there to fall into their hands.
I too wish to be of use to the church. And I do admit I am terribly worried about my brother. No matter my protests, he will not allow me to come. Professor, this is where you can help. Will you accompany us?
Yeah, why me?
If you are there to protect me, my brother's fears will be allayed. Isn't that right, brother?
That's a good
Suppose your
idea.
aid would indeed be useful. Yes.
I remember seeing all the Animal Crossing
I knew it!
amiibo,
Please,
and
Professor, will you join us?
even at my local GameStop, it's like maybe 2 years ago, like the 3DS, you know, was kind of starting to die off. The Switch was coming out, and then
Wonderful. Let us depart
it's
at
almost
once.
like they started disappearing. And I'd see like the Super Mario Odyssey one and some of the ones from Smash, and then recently, and even still, they have a bunch of them, but nobody's buying them. So I've pretty much bought up, you know, I think I probably have like 7 or 8 over here. And I still have to get, let's see. Like I found Tom Nook at Walmart, like my local Walmart. The box was all chewed up and stuff, but he was like $3, and I looked around for more because I was like, man, for $3, I was like, I'll buy 50 Tom Nook amiibos for $3. I still have to get, oh, what's her name, Celeste, and the captain, the dude in the boat. Cause see, these 3. Oh, you got the triple pack, nice. How much did you pay for it? Cause I took the 3 out of the package, but then also back here, like on the wall back there, I bought 2 of them because they had it on sale for $9.99. So they had a couple of them. I picked one up, left them in the box for a while, and then when I saw another one, I picked it up, and then I just pulled some of them out of the pack. Yeah, $12 for 3 of them. It's a good deal. I wish I had bought they had the Splatoon triple pack at my Target for, I don't know, it was maybe like 25% off, which isn't much. But this was after, well, actually this was only like a couple months ago, but it had like the you know, Ink Kid, Ink Girl, and the green squid, I think, coming out of the ink. And that was pretty cool looking. I can't wait for the Link's Awakening Link. 'Cause even just recently I bought the well, I found Meta Knight. I know for a while he was like rare, so I saw him and I bought him. I also got Ken, which he's not rare or anything. And then recently I bought the pink Yoshi. They have all the different Yoshis now at my local GameStop. They have the pink one, the pink, red, blue, and white. And then of course I like this one. He's pretty detailed. Cool shield. Cool spinning attack. he looks classic. And you know, I had also found Olimar randomly. And I found Roy at one point. And I've got the Ice Climbers and Ridley and King K. Rool over here. And then just last week I bought Mega Man and Star Fox. Cloud and Yarn Yoshi. I think too, a lot of people used to see, like, I mean, I'm sure plenty of people still have them sealed, and it's not like they're not gonna still be around for a while. Oh, sorry, dog, sorry. But I saw a couple people that had like the whole collection sealed and like tacked up on the wall, and then at one point a lot of people just opened up all of them. Like people thought there was gonna be like an amiibo game, and obviously that never happened. Then of course I'm always a fan of these, like at like Walmart down in the like the cash register lines, like at the bottom of like every single aisle. See, I saw the Zero suit at one point. I haven't seen the Bayonetta in person yet. I've seen, you know, pictures, and I saw like a video of someone unboxing it. But yeah, at the Walmart checkouts, they have all these cool, I mean, I don't know if you saw it at one point, I posted a picture on Twitter, but there was just like all the different Mario universe characters, and then I even at one point they had the Toon Link, and like his little shield kind of comes off. And I had to mount him to this piece of plastic because his tiny feet are so small he just falls over. So I actually glued him to this like piece of a CD case that I cut. So he's pretty cool. But man, I'm going to sleep. I thought I was gonna stream for another hour, but man, it's 3:42, and after just sitting here, I realized that it's time for bed. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow. It's like I always want to stream, and then other things come up, and then the day goes by so quick, and then it's like 11 at night, and I'm like, well, at 11 at night, there's not really going to be much of an audience, so I just kind of end up saying, screw it. But anyways, thanks, Crystal Kite, for tuning in as you always do. You are the man. Oh man. I saw Charizard and Pac-Man, and when I went and got my PC and my Elgato game capture, like I don't have a Best Buy near me, so I had to go like an hour away, and they had Pac-Man and Charizard, and they might have had Bayonetta actually, and I forget which one I bought that day. Well, I was also at the Target that was attached in that mall, and they had Ken and Daisy. But it depends where you get them, right? Because recently when I got that Yarn Yoshi, he was like I want to say he was $17.99 at Best Buy, which is kind of like for the rarer ones, I guess, that they don't see as often, and sometimes for the brand new ones. But like Pichu just came out, and I've seen Pichu at Walmart, Target, and GameStop. So that one's not rare by any means. But, so, when I was at this Target like 3 months ago to go get my PC, yeah, they had Ken and Daisy and one other one. They had just come out. Yeah, they'd only been out for like a little bit. And I picked them up. They were like kind of just sitting there, but then when I went to go like scan them, they were like $18.99. And I was like, what? Like, I thought these were supposed to be like $11.99 or $12.99. It just made no sense to me. So, you know, I don't know. But, alright, man. I'm heading off to Nighty Night Land. So thank you, as always. I hope you have a good night, bro. I will see you some other time, alright? Peace out.